Hey y'all, it's Whitney at Enlightened Baby, and we want to take a look at our 3 favorite joggers out on the market today. Here we have the Veer Switch Jog, the Thule Urban Glide 3, and the UPPAbaby Ridge. Some things to expect from all of these are going to be extending canopies, reclining seats, and the capacity to put a bassinet on, which of course you cannot jog with, but is excellent if this is your everyday stroller and you plan to use it for those first 6 months. Speaking of the bassinet, the UPPAbaby Ridge is the only one that has an overnight sleep approved bassinet that can also go on a compatible home stand, so you can use it as your bedside sleeper. But both of these stands do have small feet on the bottom, making them great for moving around the home and using in other ways. Thule really shines the best for competitive running because it is going to be the lightest weight stroller. It is the narrowest overall and the longest, making it the sleekest to get moving fast. All of them are going to have pneumatic air-filled wheels that are going to help with this suspension experience too, making it a little bit smoother as we go over those bumpier surfaces. So if you plan to jog on gravel or trails, you're going to have a smoother ride. Unique to UPPAbaby, the braking system, which is a one-handed grasp like a bicycle, also has disc brakes like a bike, making them a little bit more serviceable and easier to actively see. That's really different, and we've not seen that in any other joggers. UPPAbaby also, just being such a parent-focused brand because they are parent innovative, has a lot of pockets that just make it very easy for you to use as a jogger. For example, there's a pocket right here in the sunshade for your device. It's also going to include a cup holder that's actually large enough for a good sized water bottle. And the undercarriage is already covered, and that's included with the purchase. So here with the Ridge, you really get a lot of value for what you're getting. Now the Thule fabrics are definitely going to be the most sleek. They're the most wrinkle resistant, and just overall this stroller feels sleeker. The handle comes back further away from the wheels on either of these, and also your brake is just a twist, so there's no reaching, it's just a twist, which if you are going really fast could be really valuable for you. The Veer handle is going to extend with 2 hands, but it does get really tall and is pretty far back from the wheels. I will say the Thule still excels at this. However, the Veer is really different in many ways because it's actually a modular jogger, things that we never see. For example, our seat can be removed, and this would be how our bassinet would go onto the jogging frame. Of course, our seat is able to go on and rear face as well, which is also really, really different, and we're not going to see that in either of the other joggers that we have here. In case you haven't watched our switchback video yet, this seat has so many other capabilities. Make sure you go check it out because it has a lot of other capabilities that you should definitely take a look at. The Veer Switchback and Jog is going to have an adjustable suspension as well, where we can turn these dials and make the suspension more rigid or more flowy. And another thing that's really neat is the undercarriage, because your seat isn't attached to the frame, goes all the way to the end and is really massive. There is a little zipper pouch there too for storing things that you don't want to come out, as well as some pockets at the back. There is not a cover for the Veer undercarriage here. So if you are moving really quickly, you do want to be sure that your things inside are secured so that they don't bounce out. That is something that is going to be included with both of these strollers and can definitely be helpful when you're moving quickly. The Veer Switchback is going to include its bumper bar, both of which would need to be purchased for your Ridge or your Urban Glide 3, but a snack tray can be purchased for all 3 of them. The Veer Switchback is going to have a rethread harness, so you will one at a time move the harness up, similar to like a shoelace, but the 2 of these are going to have glides that will just slide up on their own straps in order to move up as your kiddo grows. Here's how deep each of the seats recline. So this one is going to be a swiveling recline, which means that the seat will never get more flat. Their femurs will always be in a seated position even though you recline the seat. But the Thule Urban Glide 3 seat is going to lie further back, and so is the Ridge here, both having a really good recline. Each of them is going to have airflow ventilation at the back side that we can open up, with the Ridge being slightly larger. Let's take a look at how the canopies extend. The Ridge is also going to have 2 airflow ventilations in the canopy, so air can move through and pass back out, which I really appreciate that attention to detail and the ability to just move air through so well. This is like a peekaboo rain shield. And then here's your huge airflow ventilation area here. So that's how much that closes over. And then this one, to show them accurately, you almost need to tilt the seat up. And one big airflow ventilation area here. Now, interestingly, the switchback seat does have its removable seat liner that comes out and is really easy for washing, and also airflow ventilation behind the seat. Another necessity that you can always find in joggers is a front locking wheel, which is going to keep the stroller straight when you're moving fast and especially over uneven terrain. So you can expect that with all three of these, and it is just with a quick click of a button or a turn of a knob to get that front wheel straight. This is the adjustment screw in order to line up the wheel and make it go as straight as you can as you're going quickly. And all of them have it. This is how the Urban Glide does it. It's with a dial, which I think is really neat. There's no tool included. And you'll notice that as I move it, this actually changes direction to line up with the center here. And then the way that the Ridge does it is also a dial over here, so no tool included, and you can see this just moving on or off center. Let's take a look at how each of these folds up. The UPPAbaby Ridge consistent stand is really admirable. Now, I'm not a jogger. I want to hear what's important to you in a jogging stroller.